Students in المعارف Private School, hello everybody, welcome to our new lesson today, Unit 1, Lessons 3 and 4. We know that this lesson we will study listening text, listening and answer questions based on this listening. But before we listen to our listening text, we will study some new vocabulary. The first word is passport. Passport. You need this when you travel to another country. Passport. Passport. Then we have guidebook. Guidebook. Tourists use guidebooks to know information about a city or a place. So we can say that guidebook is a book that has a lot of information about the places of interest, the places that tourists can visit in Egypt. Guidebook. Guidebook. Then we have suggestion. Suggestion. It's an idea or a plan that you say to someone to think about. An idea or a plan that you say to someone to think about. Suggestion. Suggestion. Okay. Then we have possession. Possessions. Possessions. Things that you own or have in a certain time. Possessions. Things that you own or have in a certain time. Then we have brochure. 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 A small book or a magazine that contains pictures and information about something. A small book. Brochure is a small book or a magazine. It has many beautiful and colorful pictures and information about a place or something. Okay. Concert. Concert. Okay, a public performance of music. Music. Concert. It's a party. Okay. It has a performance of music. Recommend. Recommend. It's a verb. Recommend. It's a verb. To tell somebody, it means to tell somebody that something is good or useful. To tell somebody that something is good or useful. Recommendation. Recommendation. It's a suggestion about the best thing to do. Suggestion about the best thing to do. Assistant. Assistant. Assistant is a person who helps somebody, usually in their shops. Okay? Assistant is a person who helps somebody else, especially in his job. Okay. Then we have the adjective historical. Historical. It's an adjective which describes something related to the past or something connected to the history. So history, when I say this thing is historical, okay, it means that it's connected to the history or the past. Then we have archaeologist. Archaeologist. He is the person who looks for things from the past. Archaeologist is the person who looks for things from the past. Then we have ancient sites. Ancient sites. All the places that are existed for a very long time. Ancient sites are all the places that are existed for a long time. Okay. Tourist attractions. Tourist attractions. They are places of interest or interesting places that attract tourists. What does it mean? Attract. What does attract mean? Attract means to make someone like to go or to do something. Okay? Attract. Okay. Tourist attraction. Places of interest that attract tourists. The right money. The right money. The money or the amount of money that you need to pay. The amount of money that you need to pay. Okay, without N. The amount of money that you need to pay. This is the right money. The right money. Train station. Train station. The place where you can take the trains. Okay, the place where you can take trains or go on trains, or the place where trains leave. Okay. Now with language function and recommendation. The first thing is asking for recommendation. How can I ask for recommendation? If I want someone to give me advice or to give me a recommendation or suggestion about something, I can ask him for recommendation using these questions. Where do you suggest we start? Where do you suggest we start? Or do you recommend a tour with a guide? Do you recommend a tour with a guide? Or what's the best place to? What's the best place to? What's the best place to buy souvenirs? What's the best place to read a book? What's the best place to eat Egyptian food? Traditional Egyptian food? Okay. Is there a good place to? Is there a good place to eat near the museum? Is there a good place to eat near the museum? Okay. Now we will talk about giving a recommendation. Giving a recommendation. We can give recommendation using these sentences. The first one, I recommend. I recommend. And we can use verb plus ing or noun after recommend, or subject plus infinitive. We can say, I recommend a tour with a guide, or I recommend going on a tour with a guide, or I recommend you go on a tour with a guide. I suggest that. Okay, after that we use subject and infinitive. I suggest that we go to the cinema. I suggest that you visit the bazaar. Okay. The best place to, and then we use infinitive. The best place to buy souvenirs is the bazaar. Then you can plus infinitive. To give recommendation, we can use you can plus infinitive. You can buy a guidebook at the Tourist Information Center. You can buy a guidebook at the Tourist Information Center. So we use I recommend, I suggest, the best place to, you can, to give recommendation. Okay. Let's listen to our listening text today. It's about Tariq and his father. Listen to Tariq and his father talking to two tourists. Do the tourist want to see or do the same thing that you suggest in exercise 1? Listen and answer the questions in student book, page 3. Listen now.
Students Book, Unit 1, Lesson 3, Exercise 3. Listen again and answer the questions.
Look, Father, those tourists are lost.
Yes, we should help them. Excuse me, do you need any help?
Oh, thank you. We're looking for the Tourist Information Centre.
It isn't far from here, but it is closed today. Can we help you?
Thank you. It's our first trip to Egypt, you see. There's so much to see and do here. We don't know what to do first. We're interested in all the ancient sites and famous places. Where do you suggest we start?
I suggest that you visit the museum. It's a good place to learn all about the things you'll see at the ancient sites.
That's a good idea. When we're at an ancient site, do you recommend a tour with a guide?
Yes, that's a very good idea. The guides can tell you a lot of interesting things about a place. I also recommend you buy a guidebook. You can buy one at the Tourist Information Center tomorrow when it opens.
Okay. We also want to go shopping. What's the best place to buy souvenirs? Do you recommend going to the bazaar?
Yes, you should go to the bazaar in the old part of the city. There are lots of crafts to buy there.
That sounds good. Oh, one more thing. Is there a good place to eat near the museum? It's nearly lunchtime, and we're really hungry.
The best place to try traditional Egyptian food is the cafe opposite the museum. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much. Students' Book. Unit 1. Lesson. Students' Book. Unit 1. Lesson. Students' Book.
Now with some situations, okay? What you would say in the following situations. Your brother wants to look at the sun. Advise him. Oh, yes, you shouldn't look at the sun. You ask your friend to recommend a place to visit on your holiday. When the situation, say you ask, then you are asked to write a question, not an answer. You ask, yes. You ask your friend to recommend a place to visit on your holiday. You will see. Yes, you will ask him, where do you suggest we go? Where do you suggest I go? Okay. Then we have, you are asked about the best place to buy souvenirs. You are asked, okay? So you will answer. Okay, the best place to buy souvenir is the bazaar. Great. You ask your friend to give you advice to keep fit. You ask your friend to give you advice to keep fit. Yes. What should I do to keep fit? What should I do to keep fit? Great. Now we came to the end. So I hope you enjoy it. See you next time. Thank you and goodbye.